Hi, my name is Kaylee Velez. Today I'm presenting a research proposal about the mental distress on step-parents within blended families. In this presentation, I will be outlining my research question and the research methods and designs I will hopefully use to answer the question. Additionally, there will be discussion on background information and the ethics of the chosen design. The research question is, how does the stigma against step-parents cause distress on their mental health and the blended family dynamic? This question originally was focused on the differences between biological parent mental health and step-parent mental health. Upon further research, it became clear that the question needed to be made more specific. Additionally, it became clear that there will obviously be a difference between the two because they have different roles. There are many studies on the mental health of children in blended families and how they feel toward their step-parents. However, it seems that step-parents' mental health is often either forgotten about or grouped into the stereotype that step-parents are mean and a negative figure in the lives of blended families. Children project their behaviors and emotions of the people around them. If their parents and step-parents are under distress, so are the children, and the children should be of the higher priority within the family dynamic. Another study points out that step-parents play many roles depending on the blended family dynamic. These roles can cause dissonance between partners, co-parents, and the children involved. Finding out how many step-parents are suffering from the mental health decline based on their stereotype roles and general mental health is important because we can bring awareness to the situation. Ivanova 2020 conducted a study that tested whether the well-being of step-parents has lasting effects on the children involved by interviewing adult children that came from blended families about their experiences as both children and adults. After also interviewing both biological and step-parents, Ivanova 2020 determined there are lasting effects on the whole blended family dynamic and that there is need for more refined research in this manner. Shapiro and Stewart 2011 conducted a study to determine biological mother stress versus stepmother stress and found that stepmothers tend to be more stressed and have more depressive behaviors. This result was found using the bootstrapping method, Center for Epidemiological Studies, Depression, CESD, and one other survey. Perry Fraser and Fraser 2018 organized and interviewed data about what step-parents view their role in 3 themes or categories: authority, ambiguous, and single to having kids. This showed that step-parents are often confused or undermined due to the different situations, such as finances and work. It seems that Ivanova's study, the focus was more quantitative, with cause to follow up with qualitative research. Shapiro and Stewart also provided quantitative research results in their study. This leaves Perry, Fraser, and Fraser being the only qualitative study found thus far. The 2 profound studies were Shapiro and Stewart and Perry, Fraser, and Fraser, due to their focus on factors that cause mental distress in the specific groups of people, namely step-parents. They provide both quantitative and qualitative results that lay a foundation for further research. 3 different methods have been considered for the proposed research question, the first being the quantitative method post-test only control group, the second being a qualitative method, which is interpretative phenomenological analysis, or IPA, using semi-structured interviews. Finally, the mixed method of complementarity through triangulation is considered because comparing qualitative and quantitative methods previously discussed can provide a more whole perspective on the social situation. I believe that the format of the research question calls for mixed methods because the depressive behaviors, while observable, can be explained through first-hand experiences. This is why using IPA as a qualitative method is valuable in comparison with the quantitative approach, which will be self-reported surveys that can help to determine the severity of mental distress, thus giving me the ability to categorize the types of mental distress. Using both allows me to gather a thorough set of results to determine whether or not the stereotype of step-parents has a huge effect on their mental health. One possible ethical issue lies with whether or not a recording takes place during the IPA interviews. Section 8.03 of the American Psychological Association Codes of Conduct states that I must obtain informed consent about this. Another is discussing the limitations of confidentiality. As stated in Section 4.02, participants must know about this so that they have the option to discontinue the study. While children should be the center of concern in any family dynamic, parents often get overlooked, and even more often do step-parents get overlooked. Blended families are complicated, but knowing about how the step-parents are being affected by blending families can possibly lead to alleviating some of the dissonance, thus making the adjustment as comfortable as possible for the children involved as well. The hope for this research is to help provide a more in-depth information on step-parent mental health so that it can be shared with people in blended families. This in turn should start a path toward recognizing that blending families is hard on everyone involved due to their different roles. Thank you for listening to my proposal, and I hope to hear from you soon. Here are my references.